Hello. Wow, sounds amazing. Hello, everybody. Everybody here in real life in London and everybody on the live streaming live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate 10 years of Chicken Shop Day and to be at this very amazing panel with my amazing panelists, and host, which I'm going to introduce in a second. This panel is viral to valuable, which is something I'm very interested in. And the idea of being viral, the concept of going viral has been around for decades, but it's kind of like, can you really convert something that's viral into something that's sustainable? That's what we're really going to be discussing today. And audiences really don't see, I don't think, the amount of work that goes into being a content creator. And, you know, what really is an overnight success to some people has actually taken about 10 years. So we're going to be discussing that today with these amazing panelists. So first we have Kesang Ball, a good friend of mine and the co-founder and head of innovation at Trippin and the creative studio All Corners. I've known Kesang for a long time, and as a creative I think she's amazing at thinking about culture and brands from her own unique perspective, and I really respect her work ethic and her attitude and really her generosity and willingness to collaborate. So I'm so excited for her to be here today. We also have Mimi, the music vlogger. Love you, Mimi. So I actually first met Mimi many years ago when I saw her tweets, and I thought, wow, your knowledge of music is like unparalleled. I've never seen anything like it. And I knew that I really wanted to work with her. So we worked together on the Chicken Shop Day episodes that I first did at Wireless Festival. Honestly, it might have been like 2017 or something. And since then, you've gone on to honestly establish yourself as one of the most amazing tastemakers and cultural commentators right now in music and culture. So I'm really happy for you to be here. We have Rebecca Dowell, who is an incredible talent manager, working in talent for a long time, and also my manager as well. She has, if I do say so, she has the most strategic eye out of anyone I know, and she has such an interesting perspective on both the digital and broadcast landscapes. So I'm really excited for you to share your perspective today. Woohoo! We also had David Sonubi here. David is a music exec and producer and a cultural curator and the co-founder of Recess, Better Listening and No Signal, which I'm a massive fan of. He has had first-hand experience in creating the most amazing cultural moments that have really kind of had a genuine impact and stood the test of time. So I'm excited to hear his perspective on today's conversation. And finally, we have your host, the amazing Chanté Joseph. Woohoo! I've been a fan of Chanté's journalism and I think she's the most fantastic cultural commentator. She's got such an interesting perspective on the digital landscape and beyond. So I'm really excited for her to be giving her expertise and chairing today's conversation. So I will hand over to Chanté now. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you so much. That was a very lovely introduction to everyone. And I love when someone else does the introduction so we can just get like straight into the conversation. I love being able to outsource that. And so we're obviously talking about virality today. Has anyone ever experienced a viral moment on social media? Have you ever posted something and it just blew up? Okay, quite a few people. So you know what it's like, you know, to post something, not think about it, go back to your phone. Now I've got hundreds of notifications, like so much. You know, when it's on TikTok, it just says 100, 100, 100, or it says 99 plus, and you're like, what is going on here? It can be quite a harrowing, but also transformative experience. I think my first kind of brief touch of like virality in a meaningful way was when I did a series of Channel 4 that we filmed in January. It was called How Not to Be Racist. It was like a satire, it was like maybe 6 episodes. It was just on YouTube, but it came out during 2020, which was obviously a very kind of tense political time to be talking about race and identity. And I remember like it going up on YouTube and like waking up the next morning and like 10,000 people had followed me on Instagram. It was absolutely insane. And you can take those moments and create something amazing with it, or those moments can kind of come and go. And sometimes virality can be quite random, and it can also be quite formulaic. And so I kind of want to pose this question to you guys now. What was your first big viral moment, and what changed when that happened? I'm going to start with you just because you're next to me, but by no means is this going to be the only order that we discuss.
First viral moment, I would say, was in 2020. We had a show called NS10 V10, and we had a specific show. Before it was going viral, but it was like in a specific corner of the internet. And then a specific show we did, which was Wizkid versus Vibes Cartel.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that caused a lot of but from the moment we announced it, you had like everyone in like Jamaica obviously rooting for Vibes. Then you had everyone in Nigeria rooting for Wizkid. And obviously like there's going viral, but then I honestly understood the difference of going viral in like Africa. Because it's just more people, and they're just a bit more crazier in terms of how they stand out with people. They kind of go hand in hand with K-pop stans. They're really, really strong fans, innit? So it went super viral to the both positive and negative side of going viral as well. Yeah. I'll say that was the first moment.
Yeah. And what was it like though? Like, what was your sort of like immediate reaction? Like, how did you know it had gone viral?
You know what? When the show hadn't happened yet, we announced the show maybe a week before, and then like within 24 hours, like hella emails of, oh, we want to interview you about this show, and I'm like, it's just a normal radio show, and then I'm seeing like people like, I don't know, Charlemagne the God tweeting about it, and Ebro tweeting about it, and I was like, okay, this might be a moment.
That's crazy. And Mimi, what about you?
When Twitter was called Twitter, not X, I used to do like little breakdowns here and there, and I did my third one. It was about J-Lo, and it was so random because these times I used to work in the bookies, right? So I was literally in my shift doing a little thread. Okay, guys, you know about J-Lo, you know Chanté, all of that stuff, to spill in the tea. The next thing you know, it was just going really, really viral. Then Joe Budden must have quote tweeted it saying, oh my gosh, I want to do this breakdown on Joe Budden's podcast. I'm like,
oh my God.
What the hell? These times, yeah, I used to be called Mimi 305. So I went to a girls' trip like a year before that. We went to Miami and I was really gassed. Like, yeah, Mimi 305. And my friend was like, nah, that's dead. You're actually from Edmonton. Like, don't do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what should be my name? She was like, you know what, you write blogs already, so call yourself Mimi the Music Blogger. I'm like, that. And obviously from there, just carry on just doing that. But yeah, that's the first time.
That's amazing. And was there a moment that came immediately after that post that went viral that kind of helped you, I guess, shape the rest of your future and where you are now?
Yeah, it was just being random, but at the same time, it was just me just doing it for the sake of doing it and loving it, because I love talking about music 24/7, so it was just organic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Rebecca, what about you? Obviously, you're not like necessarily a talent yourself, but you're managing people and you're overseeing how virality shapes someone's career. So kind of what examples have you seen of that?
Yes, I am not usually the one going viral, hopefully. But I have been fortunate to work with a lot of people who've had a lot of success with going viral. And in those scenarios, I'm on the other side of things, and I'm there to make sure that they are able to capitalize on that and build a career that has longevity, and, you know, make sure that it's not just a fleeting moment. I think Amelia said something that was really helpful at the beginning, where there's two types of virality. There's the type where sometimes something mental happens on the internet and we don't expect it. There's no formula to it, and there's a moment that we can all connect over, and it comes and it goes. And then there's the other type of virality where, you know, someone's worked very hard, they've had number of years of dedication, they've gone through different pilots and different iterations of whatever it is that they're putting out there, and then they have the moment that it connects, and that's where they find that they can probably capitalize on it because they've got a foundation there where they understand their own brand and their own product. So yeah, that's sort of my experience with virality, and yeah, as you said, it can be a bit of a blessing and a curse, I think.
And how do you advise people when they're dealing with that? So you've just posted something, you've been working for a really long time, it is getting all sorts of views, numbers you've never seen before. Yeah. What is the first thing you kind of tell people to do when they're experiencing that moment?
Don't get addicted to chasing the numbers. That is the worst thing you could do, because I think, obviously, the numbers and the engagement can be a signal that something's performing well, but really you want to be putting something out because you believe in it. And if you've got a close community around with you that are engaging with it and that think what you're doing is good, that's what you should keep running with to pursue your idea. And I think the second thing is take your time with deciding who you're going to collaborate with, because when you have that viral moment, you'll find lots of different people approach you, brands, managers, like people who want to collaborate with you and make things together. And you want to make sure that you take your time and work with people that really understand you, have your best interests at heart, and understand your longer term vision.
That's amazing advice. Thank you so much. And Kesang, what about you?
Just to build actually off your point, and hi everyone, nice to meet you all. With my company Trippin, like we're like a travel and culture platform, and what's really important for us was that we obviously wanted to connect with audiences and be seen, but I wanted to connect with the right people. And so to do that, you really have to take time in like building up your reason why you exist and what your values are. And it took us a little while, I would say, like we're 9 years old now, coming up to 10 years. And what was important for us was like, we obviously wanted to do the right viral moments and have these campaigns that really connected and resonated with people. But we wanted to take our time with it and do it right. And also at the same time, like, make sure there was a funnel to like, how, if that was your first touch point of what we were, how do you then go on the journey and find out the full entirety of like what we offer and like and I guess our purpose and our value exchange. And a great example of it is when we partnered with Notting Hill Carnival. Notting Hill Carnival is honestly my sun. I revolve around it. It's one of my favorite times of the year, but it's also like a really important moment that celebrates the Caribbean London community, and it's born out of protest. So you really have to approach it with the right meaningful like intentions. And so for us, we were like, we don't want to extract from this amazing moment in the cultural calendar. How can we add to it and give value to it? And so we do the map. Trippin's all about navigation and finding the best experiences. So we're like, okay, cool, like let's do the map for Notting Hill Carnival. And that Notting Hill Carnival gets 2 million people every year. We get about 3/4 of a million like downloads every year. So that's like huge numbers. And we're in our 5th year now. Next year would be our 5th year in partnership with them, and that's like a sustained viral moment that's adding value and continuously storytells and allows us to, I guess, like provide more touch points around a moment that everyone really cherishes.
Yeah. And even on that as well, I guess, because my next point is more about how you know when something should be continued. So you obviously did this with Notting Hill Carnival, and every time you do something new as a business, you're experimenting, right? And things can do really, really well, but that doesn't mean every single thing should be continued. So what was it about that moment that let you know, okay, we're going to continue to repeat this beyond just the numbers? Like instinctively, how did you know?
I mean, it's a privilege to work with Notting Hill Carnival. That I think was my moment of like, yeah, I really want. They were just on the mood board as something I loved, but also had so much like they're an institution and they stand for so much, and it was like more like how can I add value to what they already do, because they're amazing. I'm just trying to partner with them. But I think the lesson around virality is what's your value exchange and how are people like really benefiting from that moment, because we live in an attention deficit economy, and so like people are moving on from the minute they see you. So if they can like go down a funnel to then experience more about what you are, I think that then you've nailed a viral moment.
Yeah, and attention deficit economy is like the perfect wording. And Rebecca, when you're looking at talent and you're seeing them create something that's amazing, how do you know that that idea is something that they should continue? Like, how do you know, oh, I'm seeing this, I know it's going to age well, or will people get bored of it quickly? And how do you even judge that now? It's just, it feels quite difficult to do.
Well, actually, someone said this to me not long ago when I was stressing out about will we be making the right decisions with the strategy, and someone said it's not a science, and that is so true in that, you know, I think a brilliant idea, you can look for things like, does it have a distinct format? Does it have a clear tone of voice? Does it feel refreshing or speak to something that's not currently being offered in the sort of creative environment? But you don't always know that something's going to be a success. And I think often what sets things apart, the ones that really do cut through or the ideas that stick around, is resilience and being able to keep pivoting. You know, there'll be big parts of your idea that are working, and then there'll be little things that you need to tweak as you go along. So I think obviously that, you know, there's an idea that really stands out because it feels like it has a purpose in the space, but it's also about the person behind it and the work ethic that they're going to bring to it.
Yeah. And I love the idea of it, like not necessarily being a science. And Mimi, I obviously follow you on everything, and I constantly see you experimenting with the formats that you put out there, right? You've just started a Substack, but you were always writing anyway, and then you have your YouTube series. And do you know what I mean? So you're always kind of like testing and trialing new ideas. Are you very kind of, I guess not picky, but like, do you obsess over those small details, or are you very much like, this thing just has to go out there and we're going to see what happens?
I'm kind of like two types of person. So some days I'm very much, okay, I need to post it now. Or some days I'm just like, let me plan, then let me actually ask my friends about it, and let me ask my mum about it, let me ask my peers about it, then I'm really obsessive about it. The next thing you know, I just don't drop it. And it's like, it's very much in between those two, but I'm just trying. Like, there's no book, guys, there's no book. There's no magic book where you be like, okay, I have to do it like this. Everyone has their own individual stories at the end of the day, so I'm just trying. I'm trying, child.
Do you ever speak to your platforms about it, like your audience?
Oh, you know what? Recently, I've been using Substack, and I'm just telling the truth. Like, I'm doing a 30-day challenge. So every day, I'm posting every single day and just ranting about anything. So first thing in the morning, I'm on my way to gym, and for some reason, like, they cut off all the trees, and I was like, oh my gosh, the trees are gone. Like, what? Then it just made me deep, like, oh my gosh. It brings me about like a conversation I had with Nino about community, yeah, and it's like,
who?
Nino. Oh, he is Tia Wayne's manager. So we spoke the day before, and we were talking about community and how, like, it's important, how we need to check up on each other, and it's not always about the exchange of, okay, you do this and I do this. Like, check up on your peers and seeing, like, how are you taking it? Then from there, I just wrote about it. It's just spontaneous, just having the freedom to do it.
And David, does 10v10 still happen? No. So how did you know, okay, it's time to hang this up?
I feel like even in like going viral, you got to know when, okay, this is just a moment or this is something that's going to be like continuous forever. So obviously No Signal is like the umbrella, but then 10v10 was under it. 10v10 just got so big, like uncontrollably big, you know, and we had never done radio before in our lives, you know. It started in our bedrooms in our mum's house. So it was like them getting our own studio space and then having 30 people every month, you know, coming and working with you. Eventually it does get a bit overwhelming, you know, especially when we came out of the pandemic, and like the pandemic was fake, you know, like
in what sense?
Going viral, like obviously we had built something good, so we had a good product, yeah. But going viral in the pandemic, it wasn't a real thing, because in terms of everyone is at home.
Right.
You can get everyone's attention so quick if you have something good enough, you know? So when we realized when the pandemic was done and everyone was gone outside and the numbers cut drastically and you got all of these people now working with you, but then we got the other side because we also do festivals, and then we're seeing the tickets go up on there because obviously outside is back open. So we was kind of like, hey man, that was nice.
Yeah.
Let's go back to reality.
You're real. But is that ever difficult to let go? Like when you've really invested in building and growing something and you've seen how people have reacted to it, and then all of a sudden the numbers start falling and you're feeling a bit like, oh, this thing has to go. Like, what's it like?
We tried. We made it a live event. That was good. We did a couple of those in like Alternet. That was really good, in fact. But we had to kill it, man. Like we actually had to kill that idea.
Yeah.
Because it was just felt like he was just living in 2020 when it was like, oh, hey, yo, let's move on from this now.
Yeah, real. Sometimes we have to just really be moving on. It was a long time ago. And now I want to talk a little bit about building community, because I think you can post something, loads of people see it, and then you're kind of like, you maybe get a lot of followers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to have people that return to what you do. And also it can be quite stifling because you feel like this is the only thing I can produce to please these people. And that's very difficult to keep up with. And so Kesang, I'll come to you. How do you go about building or helping to build communities through the work that you're doing? And what are the strategies and things that worked really well for you?
I'm going to tell my age now, but we started off as a Facebook group when everyone was back on Facebook.
I love.
That was about 9 years ago, but really we had a pain point in the industry, which we work in travel, and all travel was like really like just like really archetypal, like didn't connect with me and my co-founders. We really cared about tapping into like culture, conscious traveling, and like really just living like a local with the kind of interests we were in. So we put all of our friends into a Facebook group, and it was private, and we controlled the values around it, and that grew and became really active. And it was kind of like a petri dish of testing that you could find out and ask like your community, like, what you enjoying, what are your pain points. It was like a really great moment to really understand like our kind of gap in the market and where we could exist and what our unique selling point was. And I think the best advice I can give is like take learnings like from other industries and apply it to the world we're in now. The world's changing so much. Like AI is perpetuating the way that we behave and access information. And so how can you take your community like that and build it somewhere else? And I think the one thing that I would say about community versus audience is community resonates with your purpose and reason to exist. And I'd really encourage everyone to really double down on that, because that's what gets you up in the morning when stuff doesn't go right.
Oh, yeah, and, this is a live stream.
Sorry, when stuff doesn't go right. And that's really important, but it's also what attracts like your champions of like what you're building. And they're gonna be the ones that ride and die for you. And once you understand that, then how you do it is like your special sauce. It's like the formula that you were speaking about, right? And then what you do doesn't matter, because you could make a toothbrush about what you do, and it's going to resonate with your brand. And there's a framework called the Golden Circle that I'd write down and understand, because that's how you attract your community and create your brand. And I think once you do that, you build really strong foundations, and then you can kind of trial things out. I come from a very agile, iterative, approach to like how I build my business. Like I embrace failure because you learn so much from it. And we move so quickly now that, again, the attention deficit economy that we're in, people don't notice you fail. And so don't be a perfectionist, just trial it out, and your community will build with you and grow with you, and they'll stick with you through whatever kind of pandemic or whatever happens.
But I find this point on failure really interesting. How do you get comfortable with failing? Like, no one wants to feel like they're doing the wrong thing or feel like they're being distracted from what it is they want to achieve. But like, failure is necessary, but like, how does it become something that you sit with?
Honestly, shift your perspective on it. Like, if you can look at it from, okay, I learned something now. I learned at least what not to do. And actually, I'm adding to my arsenal of lived experience so I can be a better decision maker. That is so valuable. And honestly, like, people that are scared of it, I think it's just when you jump is when you're scared to jump is when you jump, basically. And so I'd encourage you all just to bite the bullet and do it.
Thank you. And Rebecca, I want to get into when you're managing creators and you're helping them to extend and grow their brands, right? Community is a very important part of that. But when brands are looking to work with people, they often care a lot about numbers. And so do you ever feel like there's a trade-off between trying to, go viral, grow your audience, at the expense of actually building a community?
That's a really good question. And to be honest, it is really frustrating a lot of the time being a manager, because you want to work with people that you're passionate about and that you believe in their creative output. And that doesn't always mean it's the people with the biggest numbers. I think a lot of the time when we're speaking to brands, the metrics that they're using to bring people into the campaigns, they're not always bringing the right person on to connect with the audience that they want. So that's an ongoing conversation that obviously we work with brands. But I think when you're looking for the right partner to work with as a talent or as a creator, you want to look for a brand that understands your audience, understands your vision, understands what you're trying to put out in terms of your creative work and the purpose. And I think that is a sign that it's the right, brand to work with. So for me as a manager, I'm always trying to make sure that the people that I work with understand their USP, understand their purpose. As much as taking time to build formats, it's taking time to understand your personal brand. What is your tone? What is the style of the content that you want to put out? What do you want to say to people that has value? Even if you're just, you might be a comedian and you make people laugh, but at the end of the day, what value are you bringing to the community that you want to connect with? And I think, ultimately, hopefully brands will see that when you work with people that have that sort of strong sense of USP, you actually get a better return on the campaign.
Yeah. And I mean, not to put you on the spot, but are there examples maybe of people you think do that sort of balance of like community, but also continue to attract new audiences quite well, that maybe people can look at and study?
Aside from Amelia, who is in the room, who obviously, Amelia is a great example of that in terms of how we've built the team. We have Chicken Shop Day, and you can see the way that the show engages with the audience online. I mean, the online space is such a great way to connect with your community. Whereas with traditional broadcasting, it was just one way. You were putting something out. When you're putting something out onto YouTube or onto the social space, you can have a dialogue with your audience. You can understand what they're connecting with. You can listen to what they want more of. You don't need to always make things just for them, but it's a brilliant way to actually engage with your community and then bring people into the physical space, meet your audience for the first time. So yeah, I think it's so important to do that, and I think now more than ever people do want to meet up in physical spaces as well, and so taking the time to do that is really important.
Yeah, one thing I've definitely started to do more is take my audience more offline. So I run an event series across London called Strangers in the City, and the whole idea is people come alone and they do activities like all over London, be it pasta making or bouldering. We've done improv, we've gone to the theatre, we've done all sorts of stuff, but it's about people kind of coming alone. And it kind of made me realize that, I may not have hundreds of thousands of followers, but I have like a core audience of people who really like what I talk about and what I do. And so they come along to my events and then they tell their friends about it, and it's been able to like grow. We've been running it for over a year now. But it's amazing how much power that is, and it's not necessarily a reflection of like my engagement rate or whatever, but it's testament to the audience I've grown from being online for 15 years. There are people who have followed me on Twitter from when I was in year 10, which is so mad. But then you have people like that and they just ride for you, anything
That's
I
amazing,
do.
girl.
Because I was online doing but I say all that to say, Mimi, you are obviously very vulnerable online, but I think people do really ride for you. Like when people come for you, which they do very often, but you have like an audience of people who really do rally around you and support you. And how did you grow that?
Being myself and actually understanding we are actually a community at the end of the day. Like, I can say there's many people in this room that actually contributed and helped me in my journey. Like, for example, my good sis right there, Amelia, she gave me my first ever paid job in the industry ever. And I was working in the bookies. Then David with No Signal, I was doing one battle with Lils. You was reading my drafts when I was trying to write for Complex. Like, everyone kind of contributed to my career. So I always kind of like want to give back in the sense of like, okay, let me read somebody else's journal or blog, or if I see someone's song, I'm going to post it. Just being free and not trying to be hostile. Like, okay, I saw someone's thing, I see they're trying, but I'm not going to post it because I'm trying to be bougie, or not like someone's comment because I don't want them to see that I'm preeing them. Like, just being yourself. Like, be a normal human being. You can actually give someone grace. You can actually share someone's stuff. It doesn't cost you anything at all. Because really and truly, people say, okay, you invested in me. I'm going to pre what you're doing and see, wow, you know what? I'm going to support this and just grow from that. And really and truly, I started taking this seriously when I was doing my degree. And everyone, I used to make a joke like, guys, I have 2 degrees. Ah! And everyone's like, Mimi, you don't use them. I'm like,
Wait,
true,
what?
true. Even to the point of like talking about being a freelancer, discussing like, guys, the invoices. Everyone's like, yeah, me too. Like, what's going on? Even finally being diagnosed having ADHD. Everyone's like, oh, girl, me too. I'm like, clacky girl, like, we're in this together. So just seeing it as, just see everyone as a friend. Like, it's like school. You see someone in an actual, oh, you're having this, oh yeah, me too. It's just an exchange. Don't be too uptight. You know what I'm saying?
And David, talk to me a bit about the kind of the role that community plays in the staying power of like No Signal and Recess. Because I have been going to Recess since I was like 21 or something like that. I'm 29 now. Like, I've spent basically 10 years partying with you, following everything you've been doing. I've met boyfriends, I've met all sorts of best friends, I've made whole new communities attending what you have created. And now it's so crazy because like, when my little sister wants to go out, I'm like, you should go here. And I'm like, we're kind of continuing this like legacy that you create for yourself. And I'm wondering how has building a community or focus on community and collaboration helped you to create something that has, this is going to last for ages,
Thank you, really appreciate that. I think early doors, it was like when people are building community and they want to put it out to the world and I say quote unquote monetize it, yeah, they always think of like the person they're selling to, and the way you actually have to start is the people around you, because the team that's going to be like working on it. Because when people looked at us early days, there was a few people like Gadir, who's like at XL, there's RBC, there's Ladina, there's a few people that were coming up with us. People were looking at us like, oh, this looks. And when it was a small party, they'd be like, yo, I want to be part of them. More people started coming, then eventually became not about us, and it became more about your friendship groups coming out and enjoying. Because when we would start our parties, you would literally see us in the middle of the dance floor enjoying the parties too. It's not like we was just at the door selling tickets and then we're just waiting for everyone to leave. We was actually enjoying life. That's why we always say enjoy your life, because we always wanted to show people this is how you should enjoy your life. Because nowadays, like early days, it was really fun, I'll be real, but as things gets bigger, you can kind of lose a little bit of that community feel, because there's a lot of people now that someone will do a TikTok of coming to Recess Land, and then someone now saw that TikTok saying, yo, that's crazy, I got to go next year. That's cool. So they now buy a ticket, they go next year. They're now standing in the party waiting for that TikTok moment to happen, not knowing they're the ones that's meant to make that TikTok happen. Right. We've given you the space, we've given you the best DJs, artists, good food, everything. It's your turn. You got to play your part now. You've got to enjoy yourself. But if you're just standing there waiting for your phone to quickly, this artist is about to come out, and then you put it back and you're standing again waiting for that next moment just to make a TikTok, it ruins it, you know, because there's other people, your vibe is a stain, it's a stench. Everyone can feel that you're not really here to enjoy, you know. So as it gets bigger, you do kind of, and you have to keep doing more things, you know. You have to keep doing more smaller things. The smaller things are the most important stuff, you know. Like we do stuff like social clubs in like a pub, you know, and it's just free, open, just come get a drink after work. We do a lot of small things, especially in other countries as well. I think traveling helped us remember the community side of things, because when you get so big, and then you're just like thinking, okay, next year, man, we got to book Vibes Cartel, blah, blah, blah. You're thinking all these crazy names, and then you go to like Amsterdam, and then you think, yeah, you can do this big venue, and you get humbled. You get so humbled, you're like, damn, like, we barely sold 300 tickets in a 1,000 capacity, you know? You get humbled, and then now you re-strategize in that place, and you be like, okay, how did we do it in London? And then you realize, okay, it was a bit more smaller. We got who's a local, like, photographer and this person, let's bring them together and then do it how we did it in London, and then you grow it like that again. So it's actually the smaller events and the smaller stuff you do, even some of the collabs you do, you know, like most people will get big and say, oh, I want a Nike collab, or I want this collab, but you got to look at your audience. Yes, your audience is wearing Nike, but there's something else that they're wearing that's more important than a Nike to them. It could be Cortez, it could be Bemi, it could be any of these brands, you know, and those brands there, they feel more proud that, like, okay, I've got Bemi girls on my top. So we're like, okay, shout Bemi girls, let's do a tee. Very successful tee, you know, same as Cortez. Cortez is even more special because, I don't think I've even said this publicly, but the first Recess, Clint was actually the person who promoted it, because we had a party called JoJo's first, and I just remember saying to my brother, like, yo, you're getting a bit old. These times he was 20, 21, but I was like, yeah, we're getting old.
Oh, that's 21.
By the way, I'm 31 now, so I was like, yeah, you're getting old, bro. Like, having a party at 30 called JoJo's is a bit weird if you're gonna have all these people walking around. Like, we need to kind of end that. So, okay, cool, I'll keep JoJo's for when 25 plus, when we get there, and then we'll start anything Recess. This is before Cortez. He's like, oh, we'll get Clint involved, and then Clint can promote it. He did a party. The party was good, actually. It was in Shoreditch, Ace Hotel, Miranda. I don't know if everyone remembers.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. That was a fun venue. But that was a really good one, man. Like, different people. Lancey Foe performed. Just that 2016. I'll never forget that party because there was just bare guys mosh pitting. Just mosh pitting, and I was like, this is so weird, because I'm not used to being in this type of environment. This is the first time I got introduced to this type of world. There was mosh pit, and I just remember at the end, Clint was like, yeah, I'm not doing this party thing. I'm just going to do the clothes thing. And then he went on to do his thing, innit? So it's just like, that's when we did our 100th party, to take a nod back to him doing the first party, we did a collab on the T-shirt. But no one really knew. They just thought it was, because Cortez is big, Recess is big. But it was deeper than that. It was because, like, we're trying to... But 10 years next year, we'll tell the story properly.
Amazing. Sure. It's so incredible that you've kind of just like grown up with everyone around you. Do you know what I mean? It's this whole, of course you've had new people come in here and there, but like your kind of core team have all just excelled and come up together. But I imagine, like, you know, there's going to be difficult moments. There are going to be times when you fall out or you have disagreements on where you want to go or how you want to do things. Like, how do you kind of overcome that and stay as a kind of collective?
Again, you've also got to know when to, like, knock that on the head as well, you know? Everyone's going to eventually go their own separate journeys, and, like, for how long that you ride it until the wheels fall off. You know, some people, once the wheels are falling off, they're always trying to, like, relive moments or try to bring things back together, and it's like, yo, that chapter was done and it was important. But now it's like now to move on, a new cohort of people, different people, you know. So just knowing when to like actually be like, okay, this is done now. Let's move on as well. It's very important.
And one last question I want to bring to everyone. I mean, I'm going to start with you just because you brought this up and I found it really interesting. You know, we were talking about people coming to recess and then or filming a video and then it going viral on TikTok and then people looking for that same moment. We kind of now have this sort of like not necessarily a distrust, but like a weariness with social media. And I just think now seeking virality doesn't feel like a suitable goal. So for you, like, what are the kind of cultural markers of success beyond 100,000 people clicked on this thing or saw this video? Like, how do you know, oh, I'm doing well?
Ticket sales.
Yep.
It's the realest. It's actually the most real number. You know, we don't go mad viral on social media when we post our event. Sometimes, in fact, if we was just to post our event, you might think the event is not sold out. But before it's even gone on the internet, we have like a mailing list of people and it's probably sold 70% because of those core people that really, really are in our community. Even our close friend stories, we use our close friends a lot. And people that would want to request to be your close friends obviously care enough about you, do you know what I'm saying? So we always cater to those people more than just the people that we know are just here for the viral side of it, you know? So, like, yeah, that's what I'll say, yeah.
But also it's really interesting that you talk about like having a mailing list and having that group of people there that you kind of go directly to. These are your core audiences, the people that really seek you out, and then rewarding them for being kind of committed to the community.
Important, very important people.
What about you, Mimi?
I would say just being yourself and just not looking at anything too seriously. Just post and go. That's the best way to do it. Don't look at the comments. Don't look at the likes. Just post and go, because the end goal is you just to be consistent. It can be a bad comment for someone that's talking about your looks, for example. You'll be overthinking that, oh my gosh, next time I'm going to be doing this. Even good comments, for example. Don't watch it. Just keep on going, because once you watch it continuously, you just come obsessed of what it looks like and not for what it really is. Then you're going to ask yourself, okay, am I doing it for my ego or am I doing it for myself? I was just literally telling Dave today, Dave, you know you're doing big stuff. He's like, oh, no, I'm not. I said, bro, 10-year-old you will be so proud of yourself like right now. Why do you care about anyone else? Your younger self right now is probably thinking, are you even here? What's keeping you going? Are you still doing the thing that you like? Are you making new friends? Are you building a community? Are you doing something so authentic that is really going to make your 10-year-old self matter? And I always keep to myself that, okay, 8-year-old me should be proud of me, and 80-year-old me should be proud that we did it. That's the only two people that you actually need to care about. Anything else doesn't matter. Do you want to have an ad of a life? Or do you want to have a movie?
I love this line.
Honestly, you guys want to care about 10 seconds. Okay, that's an ad. Your life is literally a movie. It's 2 hours, it's 3 hours. You want people to watch it. You want people to review it. You want people to interact with it. It doesn't matter. Ads, you know you skip the ad. You know that, right? You skip it. You want someone to sit down thinking, you know what? This is, oh my gosh, the best part, what? The person's homeless and he did it, what? Oh, rah, a plot twist. Guys, let's actually live our movie. Please. Yeah.
Love
Hey.
And
It's so true, you skip the ad.
you skipped the ads. Sorry, YouTube. Rebecca, what does success look like for you and the work you do beyond virality?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think you have to not, as I said before, you have to not chase the numbers. And it's a really difficult thing to do, especially if you have had success online or if you're seeing that something has gone viral. It's very easy to get into the habit of that being your metric of success. A lot of the time when we're sitting down and we're looking at a strategy and if it's been successful, number one, did you actually enjoy making it? And are you having a good time? Because whatever career you've gone into, that is a really important thing. I think also thinking about impact and value, it doesn't need to be the biggest cut through in terms of audience for something to bring real value to the audience that it's connecting with. And things like bringing people into a physical environment, getting a chance to engage with people, understanding in real time the value that you're bringing to them. That's just the best litmus test for you understanding how people are connecting with you. But also, I guess on a more sort of creative level, like craftsmanship, because I think a lot of the time now ideas come and go and people don't give enough credit to the time it takes to build a good idea. Yeah. So I think, like, have you pushed yourself to come up with something that feels refreshing? Have you, like, you know, twisted a genre in a certain way or added your own little flavor to something that makes it feel special to you? And I think if you can come away from a project and feel really proud of what you've put out there and feel that you've added your own stamp onto it, then that's the best measure of success. And one practical tip I work with a brilliant comedian, Munya Chihuahua, who I love. And we have a very good little system on his team where we have a little group of us, and every sketch that goes out to this small group. It's like a little focus group. So we see the sketch before it goes out. We all give our feedback on it. Is there anything that's too controversial? Usually there's not, because he's very good at that. But also, is there, you know, do we find it funny? Would we suggest going through another round of edits? And then that also becomes a bit of a support system for him in terms of, like, feedback on where he's at and the creative that he's putting out. So I think if I was a young person, you know, wanting to launch my own idea, surround yourself with a network of people that you really trust, and they can be your little focus group.
That's a brilliant idea. I'm going to implement that for myself, actually.
Honestly, I resonate with every one of your points, because in every single way, like, you need to make money, you need to deliver impact. What's your value add? I think for me, I guess like a amalgamation of everything you guys have just said is, like, have I built a world that really represents what I care about? And when you enter into my touch points, or you watch something that comes from Trippin at all corners, or you listen to something, do you know that it's mine? Like, and how am I doing things differently? And I think that's the exciting part. And we all have completely different, unique lived experiences, and double down on that, because that's what no one can copy. And I think what my metrics of success with me is I collaborate with creatives in every single in over 130 destinations around the world. And with that allows me to see things through their lens. And I think understanding the power of that is so important. And I think that is well, it will always guide you. It's at your compass.
Thank you so much. Can I have a small round of applause for my panel? You've been amazing. Do we have time for questions? Yes, we're going to go to the audience. Oh, you in the green, you shot your hand up real quick. Love that enthusiasm. Sorry.
Hello, I'm Ellen. I've literally just quit my very draining job that I've been in for over a year. So,
woo! Well done, well done.
So it's super lovely just to be here and be inspired by all you guys. So thank you very much. And obviously thanks to Amelia as well for organising this. I think we've kind of touched on it, but I just wanted to know, like, from a personal standpoint, as content creators, does it become harder for you to kind of quantify or measure your success after having a viral moment? And maybe how do you keep yourself motivated after that? Because, you know, it's hard to keep up those stats and stuff. So, like, personally, how do you, if maybe, you know, you've had that moment and then things kind of dip down a bit, how do you keep yourself motivated?
Mimi?
Journal, and make sure I go therapy. Recently started doing therapy, so always have your best mindset and always have your best mental health in check, because if you're not in the best state, you're not going to produce the best stuff. I feel like at one point, especially last year for me, I was very obsessive of what numbers and likes, and if it's going viral, to the point that it wasn't even healthy at all. You need to be in the best check and actually live your life. Like this, your job or this career, because I want to say it for the way it is, should not be who you are. Like, you can still live a life. It's just a gift. It's a tool. Every day you're gonna have, like, walking to a bus stop, taking a train. It's gonna be like a spark of inspiration. Just live your life. You will see it will all land. It's not formulated. Don't ask ChatGPT, how should I do this? Live your life. You will be shocked of what will come to it. That's my advice.
I think just to build off that, like, we live in such an algorithmic, like, conditioned environment. So, like, all the references if you spend all your time online are going to be what the person next to you is, like, consuming. So yeah, get out there and, like, try new things and have genuine interactions, and that is what's going to inspire you.
I think you guys have basically summed it all up. Seek out inspiration where you can, outside of your comfort zone, outside of your kind of area of interest, and really try to find ways to, like, formulate, like, opinions, thoughts, and feelings on those. And I think that will really help you to feel sustained even when you're not particularly motivated or you're chasing a high. In the back there, in the burgundy, brownish top with the... Yes, very cute, yes.
Hi, my name is Ifra. I have a podcast with my best friend. It's called Batay DK Podcast. And we want to start working on like pitching. And I have this question for Rebecca from like a manager point of view, because we don't have a manager. And we want to start pitching. What are kind of like, and our numbers are not that great yet. What would you say would be your advice for like, we're preparing a pitch deck, and what are kind of like elements that you would want to see if someone's numbers are not that great, but like we have potential and the idea is really good?
Well, congratulations on launching your podcast. You've got the first step out of the way. Woo! I think, it's a journey, so it doesn't matter that you don't have the numbers just yet. I think when you're putting your pitch together, spend some time thinking about the things that we talked about before. What's the USP of the podcast? What is the purpose? Your brand identity, what does that branding say about you? Who is your audience? Because even though you may not have a big audience yet, you'll be able to look at some of the data to understand who your audience is. And I think that's really interesting to potential partners, to understand who it is that you're connecting with. You could even try to engage with some of your audience over socials to get a little bit of real-time feedback that you can add into that pitch as well. And I think being able to show your vision as well, if you can put into that deck, this is where we are now, but we want to go here, and show that sort of North Star for your podcast, that will really help with whoever you're talking to, being able to see your vision and, feel confident to commit to your journey as well.
There's also like a framework to build off that called SWOT, which is like strengths and threats, about like if you analyze what you said, so you could be a threat, it's like, I don't have a lot of views right now, but your strengths are X, Y, and Z. And then the other part of that is opportunities. Strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats. And the second part is like really what's out there in the landscape of your competitors. And it's really good to just do that practice, because then you can understand like where your lane is and where your white space is, and that's your USP.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. All the way at the back with the pink hair.
It's actually red.
Is it red? Listen, 30's coming thick and fast, babes. Losing my eyesight already.
It looks pink. Hi, my name is Chanté Joseph. I have started comedy content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Funny Gold Shans. Girl, but the way Gru says girl, from Despicable Me, Gold Shans. My question for Amelia's manager, what's your name again, please? Rebecca, nice name.
Thank you.
My question is, you're Amelia's manager, so what will be your advice for looking for a manager, and how do you go on about it?
That is, it's a tough one. I think take your time. There's lots of managers out there, and everybody, like with a creative or an entertainment talent, everyone has their own different style and approach. So don't rush into everything. Do your research. There's lots of different agencies out there, whether it's a smaller, more boutique agency or an agency that's got maybe a bigger offering. I think that you want to find somebody that really understands you, and you don't need to sign with them straight away as well. If somebody's trying to rush into something, it's probably a sign that they haven't taken the time to understand you or really understand what you're about. I remember with Munya, our first meeting was a very weird meeting. We went for tea and cake, and we had like a really long conversation, great conversation, but he was very, very hesitant about getting a manager, because he's very organized himself. He's got a clear vision. He wasn't sure if he needed a manager. We ended up just staying in touch as friends, and at the time I was heading up a roster of an agency called Moxie, looking after lots of new sort of digital talent, and so I started inviting him along to a few events, not necessarily with an agenda, but just because I really believed in what he did, and I wanted to give him an opportunity to connect with people. And then it was about sort of 9 months to a year later that then we kind of re-engaged in a conversation. So I think that's an example of, somebody who's really got your best interests at heart will take time to get to know you, and make sure it's the right person for you, because you're a team, you're in it together, so you want to make sure that they properly understand you. You guys will have some good insights on the other side.
Yeah, I would say Rebecca's quite high level when it comes to management. I feel like when you're starting up, you should definitely look around you rather than looking up, because the people that's around you when you're coming up, they will just go above and beyond. Then you're going to get to a level where you are going to need experience, and that's when people like Rebecca probably would just hit you up anyway because you've already built enough that they'd be like, okay, I want this person on my roster. But at this level, there's people around you, or even events like this, you might speak to someone today that just really on the same, they're trying to also get some experience, and you might be able to give them that experience, So I think therefore look around you rather than trying to go to the top.
I'm going to bounce back on that. Is community goes back to it is like, if you want to place your part and build a community, you actually have to use each other and learn along the way and actually just try. Don't look up like, okay, I need to go there. Like, actually see the person next to you. Think, okay, like, how can we actually do this exchange and help each other and get experience? So, yeah.
And also have a clear idea of what it is that you want to achieve. I don't have management at the moment, but when I did have management, I felt like it definitely derailed my career a bit, because I think I was starting to do things that were profitable to my manager and my agency, but not necessarily nourishing for me and my soul. And I think it took me on a completely different journey from where I wanted to be. And now, I have a literary agent because I'm interested in mainly just writing, but anything that comes from that, I will think about if I need more help there. But it's like, whatever it is that you want to do, you specifically want to focus on, have a clear idea of that, and then find someone who can really help you with that.
Thank you.
Okay. We haven't had anyone at the front, but you in the green.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. I'm studying graphic design at the moment, but I'm also looking for my first role in the creative sector. And I just wanted to know, what is one creative risk that you haven't taken, maybe like you were scared to, or you don't think it will be received well, and why?
That's a good question.
Sorry.
I don't think I'm ready to answer this.
So what's one risk that you haven't taken that you're scared to take? Yeah. That's a really good question. I can answer that real quick whilst everyone's ruminating. I would definitely say that I have been very fearful of creating things like independently, just on my own. Everything I've done, I've always done attached to a publication, a platform, a brand, or whatever, which has been great, but it's meant that I've lacked creative control over more or less my entire career. And also when I've tried to enact that creative control or be opinionated whilst being attached to these brands, backfired every time. So many opportunities just lost. And I think it's always been a sign for me that I need to be independent and take a risk on my own ideas, and I haven't really actually done that kind of mainly outside of my writing. And so I would encourage people, don't wait on the brand partnership or on the manager or whatever, just really do your own creative pursuits, for sure.
That's a good thing. I'm still thinking.
I resonate with that. I feel like I actually love collaboration, but again, the pendulum can swing too far one way that then you become less assured of your gut instincts on things. But generally, I've tried a lot of things to my detriment, I would say. But I think it's there's so much if you have confidence in doing that, the first time you do it, then you'll always do it. I think once you conquer the fear and put yourself out there, then it becomes just your status quo.
I would say, for me, with No Signal, it's kind of, obviously I'm a black man, if it's not obvious, and being a black man or you're just a black person, when you do certain things or you start a company, you kind of get this kind of light of community, but in the side of youth club, stepping stone, and then everyone that you've kind of nurtured then gets souped up by a big company, and then you're okay, next cohort, and it's every 12 months it's a bunch of new people. And then I always used to say, oh, you know what, maybe it's just the way we're putting things out there. I really want to just put contact out MTV. Why not? Why don't we just go so big and make this bigger than life like the Americans do, And then sometimes I have to be but people don't care enough, so we didn't really do it. We kind of just kept it with that community vibe, So I guess that could be something that I kind of wish I did with No Signal, make it bigger than life.
All I can hear in my head right now is Nene Leakes saying, I said what I said. And literally, because my problem is like, I'll be overthinking, like, oh my gosh, this tweet, oh my gosh, this TikTok, oh my gosh, this Instagram reel, like, am I saying it right? Like, when I see myself getting cooked and I'm on the Shea Butter, I'm like, oh gosh, why did I? Like, the biggest one I can say is obviously the DJG when I said about Gatekeeper. I said, oh God, like, I didn't mean it like that. I was literally on the flight. I just want to say what I want to say. I didn't know, whoa. And I like, Jan, I would say, I was like, I don't care anymore. I said what I said. Literally, I said what I said. And if it's okay, it's okay. If you don't like it, it's okay. If you agree, it's okay. Because I said what I said. That's the risk I feel like I'm starting to learn. But yeah.
I mean, people cook you, but listen, you're brave enough to put your ideas out there, and a lot of people don't. Like, even when people are flaming me, like, I had the balls to say how I felt at that time. And guess what? I will change my mind. Purple is my favorite color today. Next week is green. Who cares what I said the other day? Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think you have to get comfortable with not being completely coherent in your identity. We contain multitudes. You believe one thing one week and next week you don't. Like, it's okay. So I think like people get fearful of having to be consistent in who they are because that's how people first perceive them online. You don't have to do all that. We have time for one last question. Oh, this is so hard. Wait. Someone else pick. I can't do it. I don't want to let any of you down.
At the back, I can't see them. Just a hand.
Hello. Thank you for such a fantastic panel. So my question is, I'm quite overwhelmed with the amount of platforms there are. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of these platforms. Me and Luna just started a podcast out of a cafe called Casa Connect, and we're posting across all, but it's just so time-consuming. Do you think it's important to post across multiple platforms, or just, find one and stick to it? And how do you find one?
Oh, I'm learning the art of like delivering it differently but saying the same thing. It's like having a conversation with a teacher, with a child, your mum, your sister. How would you deliver it? Like, oh, mum, I'm doing a podcast talking about da-da-da. Or talking to your friend like, girl, guess what? I'm doing that. Do it different ways. Like, for example, I'm starting to post myself on LinkedIn. Everyone think, oh my gosh, LinkedIn is all about work, job, all of that stuff. No, you can say, oh guys, I've been working on this, that, going on. Instagram be like, guys, so I got this going on. TikTok could be like, wigless, no makeup. So guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is my review. It can be in different ways. Just say the same thing in different ways. That's what I'll say. Yeah.
And just to add to that, I suppose, I don't know what the specific format of your podcast is, but think about the format and then which platform suits it best. So is it long form? Is it a 60-minute podcast or is it 10 minutes long? Does it work better when you shoot it portrait, or do you actually need a wider shot, so therefore put it on YouTube? And I think once you understand sort of the crux of your format, that will help you establish where you want it to sit, and then use your other platforms to engage with your audience or to provide cut downs and find different touch points for the brand to connect with people. But I don't think you need to necessarily be on all platforms. Pick the ones that you want to go for first, and then keep experimenting with what's working.
I also think that it's really important to connect with your audience and own their not own their data, but be able to contact them not through a platform. So if you can retain email addresses or get people to sign up to something that you've got the power on, because a platform can change its algorithm, it can change what it's doing, and that's their decision to make, not yours. And so if you go double all in on one thing and then, I don't know, it decides not to be in the UK anymore or something, then you're pretty screwed. So it's about owning that as well, and that's really valuable.
Amazing. Thank you so much, our panel. Thank you so much for all your amazing questions. Round of applause.
Thank you so much, guys. That was so amazing. I feel like that conversation was so interesting. I personally learned so much about what it means to create something that's actually meaningful and tangible, and kind of lives beyond that viral moment. I'm really excited that all of you are going to have the opportunity to also see the exhibition next door. So if you would like to, we'd love to have you. And you basically just go outside this door, right, and then you can have a look at the exhibition and carry on the conversation, really. So yeah, thank you so much, and thank you so much again to amazing hosts and panelists. Thank you so much. See you guys.